What's up, everybody? Yes, indeed, man, I am back. You guys already know what time it is with this cat right here. I don't talk about it, I stay about it. Well, anyways, people, today I'm gonna go over why I would prefer to do time up north, and I'm gonna share with you because of my life experience from doing time up north and down south, the difference. I may have touched on this in the past, but audience members asked me to touch on it, so I'm going to. Okay, people. But anyways, first and foremost, once again, I got to give a shout out to my channel members, my subscribers, my followers, and everybody that's been interacting with me, man. I really appreciate you guys. Soon I will be doing lives. Well, once I hit that 10,000, I'll start doing lives on a regular basis. But keep your eyes open. I think this weekend I may just do that surprise live, people. So tune in, man. That's where I'm going to determine if I should do lives or not. You know what I mean? Because if ain't nobody tuning in, I'm going to be tuning out. You know what I mean? I'm not going to take time out of my day to chop it up with a bunch of ghosts. You feel me? But anyways, people, with that being said, man, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, put your notification bell on all, share this channel, 10,000 subscribers. Once we reach that 10,000, I don't care who shows up. You know what I'm saying? I will start doing lives on a regular basis. But for this surprise live, make sure you show up. You know what I mean? Because that'll just maybe just push the schedule a little bit closer than waiting for 10,000. You feel me? But yeah. One other thing, man, before I go into discussing why I would prefer to do time up north is someone asked me, and this has to this is reflecting on the video that I dropped yesterday about, you know, diets, nutrition. Someone asked me what is the best diet to follow. I'm gonna keep it real and 100% with you, man. The best diet and the only diet that you should follow is the one that you're gonna stick to. Stick to a diet that's not fucking crazy, that's gonna throw you off your regular, how should I say, your regular lifestyle and interfere with your household, because all that's gonna do is discourage you and make you derail, and then you'll take the easiest path out, and that's the path of less resistance, people. So like I said, at the end of the day, it's going to be the diet that you can stick to and that you run in, and something that you're going to be able to run in for at least a couple months, man. That's where you're going to get your best results. Do not try to mimic a diet that your neighbor, your friend, your relative, or anybody, you know what I mean? Because what works for them may not work for you. So my tip to you is make a log of your favorite foods, and I really do mean your favorite foods, and then your second best foods coming from vegetables and leafy greens, salads, and pick your best food, and then the second part of that meal is going to be leafy greens or vegetables. And with that, you start your diet there. Now, the most simplest way to do it, like I've told people in the past, and I've actually had people get some major results behind this, because it's really simple. It's a no-brainer. You fill up your plate with half leafy greens or vegetables, or both. You know what I mean? Make sure half that plate is full. Now, the second half you're gonna fill, and let's not get crazy, anywhere from 4 ounces to 6 ounces, depending on how active your lifestyle is and what your gender is. For a female, a rule of thumb would be 1 palm size. For a male, would be 2 palm sizes. Now, somebody that's already pretty well conditioned or that's pretty active, you can increase the ounces. You're gonna have to play with it. If you don't want the guessing, then that's when you need to shoot me a DM. You can shoot me a DM at High Power Fitness, high_power_fitness_. This is what I do, people. Or you could email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. You know, if you want to save the guessing and get straight to the punch and start your journey immediately, where you start getting results, this is what I do for a living, people. I build custom nutrition plans for people. I build custom workout plans for them. I get them dialed in. I teach them about fitness and nutrition, and I also hold them accountable. You know, so like I said, if you want to really take it to that next level and quit the guessing and spinning your wheels, you know what I mean? Because that in itself can be overwhelming, people. You know what you need to do, man. I'm right here. So, with that being said, people, today's going to be a shorter than normal video. You know, someone asked me if I could touch on Chito Ranas. Well, not touch on him physically, people. You know what I mean, man? I hate that I have to explain this to people because there's so many fucking immature characters out there, or they're just straight clowns. You know what I mean? I know people call me a clown, but you guys must be the fucking circus. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, people, yeah, someone wanted me to give my 2 cents about the feud between, what they call them, fucking Coca Raider and fucking Chito Ranas. Their lovers quarrel or some shit like that, they said. If you guys want me to touch on that, let me know, man. I'll give you the real insight. You know what I mean? I'm not biased, man. I'll keep it real and 100%. You know what I mean? If a motherfucker doesn't like what I say, hey, cover your ears. You know, if not, you know, swipe left, swipe right, whichever way. You know what I mean? Ain't no shine out for my motherfucking state boots. Well, anyways, that's another thing what this cat does right here. I do ramble on, people, so just bear with me. If this is something you don't mind tolerating, then stick with me and ride till the motherfucking wheels fall off, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, enough of that. Let's go to why I would prefer to do time up north. And I'm going to share with you my life's experience, okay? My first time ever doing time, well, when I got sent up to the joint, the first joint I landed in was Wasco. When I landed in Wasco, I was laced up by one of my older homeboys. How shit was ran in there. Now, I landed on a yard that was filled with a bunch of individuals that I could see had a different stilo than me. Some of these individuals, they had long ponytails. So, coming from the time when I grew up, I remember people, they had ducktails, but this was beyond ducktails. This is something different, so it stood out to me. They carried themselves differently. You know what I mean? It wasn't a stilo that I was used to. So it was brought to my attention, you know, those were the people that we had differences with. Let's just put it that way. So that's where I was laced up and schooled about what I needed to do and how I needed to carry myself and what was expected of me. A lot of people from this day of age never knew that they used to run us on that reception yard together. Wasco was off the hook. You know, I'm going to give you a quick example. Call it how you want it, but I was assigned to pretty much keep an eye on my homie. Every time he went to the restroom, me and another, I'm going to just say an associate because I don't like putting titles out here. We had to pretty much, us three, go together everywhere. When we sat on the commode, the shitter, or whatever we was doing. Basically, we're playing the bodyguard role. And the reason is because during that time, a lot of stuff was happening. And if you know, you know. What's going on today, there's that end of hostilities, and which is a great thing. You know what I'm saying? It actually is. I mean, it was embedded in me for years. So much hatred towards a certain faction that came out of the northern Ramfla, I should say, from up north. I looked at them, yeah, that's my gente, but they wrote different. For some reason, we were at war, you know, and I didn't question it. I was never really one of those persons to question an older homie especially a homie that was well respected from the barrio. You know, obviously he has achieved that level, not from stupidity, but from earning it. Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean? So, anyways, long story short on this, man. When I got sent out to up north, where what's that youngster that got his life taken from him, Money Suede or whatever his name was, that's the joint that they sent me to. Now the year that I landed off of that Grey Goose, landed over there in Soledad, there was a saying. When you landed there, you were expected to be handed a trash can lid with the sword. And what that meant was it was time to go to war. Okay, this day of age, people may say different, but I'm telling you from the experience when I landed there. Now, when I landed there, I remember going through the whole process through R&R, hitting, I believe it was X-Wing, O-Wing, I forget. It's been so many years. And then I landed on North Yard. I believe I was in well, actually, it was in two halls right there. I was in Lassen and Rainier on the third tira, and on the other hall, I was on the second tira. I actually preferred being up there in the third tira. You know what I mean? So when shit popped, you know, it was easier to come down on people than to go up to them. You feel me? But anyways, it's just a strategy of war. Let's just put it that way, people. But doing time up north, I seen the differences in the way our gente from up north rode. They was deep, and like I said, I was put on high alert to watch over these cats, the ones that had these ponytails, because I was fed propaganda that the only way you could become one of them guys is to whack somebody that looked like me. So, obviously, you know what I mean? I'm young. I'm going in there fucking like a motherfucking Mexica warrior. Let's rock and roll, baby. So that's the attitude I carried. Well, anyways. Now, the reason to why I would prefer to do the tiempo up north, because at the end of the day, it was all about respect, gente. But when it went off like with the quickness. You know what I'm saying? There's reasons why we wear them paños around our neck. It's not to look cool, because I know it's trendy out here in the real world, but there's a reason why we did that. For those of you that know, you know what I'm talking about, the reason why we wore those. And it wasn't because we were cold. It was to protect ourselves. Because there was slashers running through the yardas. So anyways, like I said, yes, I did ramble on a lot. The reason why I would prefer to do tiempo up north, because at the end of the day, it was all about respect. Now, when you landed up there, when I landed up there, I was greeted and welcomed by all the homies from the southern Ranfla. I don't care what area you were from, because there was no areas there. If you were from down south, we were all as one. There was so much love, what they call carnalismo, camaraderie, behind them walls. Because believe it or not, we were sitting in a house that we were pretty much the, how should you say, the underdogs. So we couldn't afford to have any type of animosity within the household. We had to show love. And it was righteous love, because your worst enemy from the calles could be that person that will be saving your life. And you saw it. It was true. And the reason is, man, I like to believe is because we were doing time with a lot of lifers. They weren't ever getting out, but there was a lot of us that had dates. And yeah, we're not supposed to believe that we're promised to get out, but there's still that hope in us. You know what I mean? So we're not going to let anything happen to one another. So that's one of the reasons why I prefer to do time up north. And trust and believe, where I come from, my neighborhood, we gang bang against everybody. What, one barrio that we get along with? You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This day of age, I'm not too sure. But during my time, there was only one barrio that we got along with. And if you know, you know. I'm not gonna put the barrio's name out here because that's just out of respect. But like I said, doing the time up north was a great feeling. You had a sense of security that there's that chance that you're gonna be able to parole. Why? Because you got good homies that have your back, that are righteous, that ain't trying to pencil whip you or stab you in the back. Now, I ended up doing time down south, Calapatria. It was a whole different animal there. We were deep. My barrio and myself, we're deep everywhere we go. But when you get down there, you start getting, it's kind of like where you take it back to YA, I guess you could say. And I'm just, I don't know, I've never been to YA, but from what I've heard, they have ramflas. You know what I mean? As far as me, it's not really ramflas, it's arias. They be aria tripping. And what I mean is, you got counties. Everybody's tripping from different counties. And some counties were really deep. Some counties were hitting. And what happens there, it's like whoever was not necessarily the strongest, but the homies that had the bolsa, they could make your own homies turn on you. You know what I mean? Not the ones like from your barrio, but from your area. And the reason why they look at it as it was okay, because that's your enemy in the street. And down here, they don't depend on every last one of us to support one another like they do up north. So that's my reason why I would prefer to do time up north any given time. Well, I'm not trying to do no more time, you know what I mean? I'm older, I'm retired. I'm just trying to live my best life now and enjoy life, man, because life is short, man. This is the best life out here. If you ever think about it, and if you really want to get caught up in them reindeer games, ask yourself, do you want to be fucking surrounded with nuts and butts for the rest of your life? Or would you rather be out here with the beautiful people that surround us? It's a no-brainer, you know what I mean? Unless you float that way, that would be the place to be. Feel me? If you're a butt bandit, which is forbidden in there, but if you're one of them funny bunnies like that like to be Peter gazing, shower sharking and shit, hey, that's on you. Well, anyways, people, I'm gonna bring this video to an end, man. I think it went on long enough. I rambled on enough, but that's the reason why I would rather do time up north, man, because of the love that the homies righteously have for one another. Because when you get down south, it's a different stilo. The only time I could say that it wasn't really like that is when I got I got transferred, and I was transferred to Chino State Prison. And the reason being it wasn't like that right there is because there was some very how should I say, voices that were recognizable and very had a very long reach. Let's just put it that way. So everybody were on their P's and Q's, and everybody acted accordingly. Let's just put it that way, man. Now, with that being said, man, if you want to get started on your fitness journey and get them motherfucking results, and you're finally tired of spinning your wheels, or you just want to put your fucking ego and pride to the side, shoot me that DM, high-power-fitness, high_power_fitness_, or you could email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. There ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. I'm telling you. OG's got results, baby. If I could do it, 54, you can do it, baby. Let's do this shit.